My name is Maximilian Christensen. I'm from Southern California. I make internet videos and a bunch of tutorial videos gauged at making the community better at games like Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and a variety of fighting games. I got into fighting games very early on when I actually can't even remember, it's been so long. The only thing that actually brings back the memories of playing fighting games when I was younger is photographs of me actually playing Street Fighter 2 and things like that. All I can remember is being a part of it for the longest time. As far as being active in the community, I've been joining tournaments and stuff like that as early as the original Marvel vs. Capcom 1. That was the first game I actually took extremely competitively, and then after that I was very hardcore into Third Strike for almost 8 years. That game is embedded into my soul more than any other fighting game I would think, but yeah, I've tried to expand the impact on the community in a different way than just going to tournaments, and it's by making videos and introducing people into it that aren't especially into fighting games. Assist Me came from literally an idea. One day I was going about making the original episodes of Ultimate or regular Marvel vs. Capcom 3 The Online Warrior, and it was kind of like an informational show where I dissect online gameplay, try to make things make sense for everybody that's watching, and then offer skits, humor, and content like that. But in around episode 3, I had this idea that popped into my head. I'm like, how freaking awesome would it be if Wesker busted down my door and acted all menacing and evil, and I was sitting there helpless and alone, and he would teach me how to play the game. Surprisingly, that was the beginning of it. I drew a storyboard for that scenario, which ended up never being used, and we went with another character because I thought getting Dr. Doom in a masked character would be a lot funnier. And that was literally it. Brought in a bunch of friends and folks that went to film school that I know personally to come in and help out with the project. Spent a little bit of money to get some cameras to make it look really good, because that's what I wanted it. I wanted it to look good because I'm somewhat of a perfectionist to things, and that was it. That was the beginning of Assist Me right there. As far as the future of Assist Me, I kind of am a very much go with the flow kind of person. We have folks on the show that are writers, we have folks on the show that are dedicated to certain aspects of Assist Me, like audio and camera work and things like that, while I kind of like put it all together in editing and writing as well. So when it comes to the next episode or how we're going to take things or approach things, it's a go with the flow kind of situation, and things change very rapidly. Things change almost every single time we are shooting an episode, and these episodes take like days to shoot. And we will change things on the fly. As far as the future beyond what we're doing now, we have a schedule of what we would like to finish and what we have shot already. However, there has been some issues with me moving as of recently, not having the previous location, having some folks on the crew going through some personal tough times right now that we're doing our best to try to keep it going. But at the moment, we have a solidified final episode before we don't know if we can do anything more. So we're going to kind of take it by ear from this point forward. As far as the panel we just watched with Ultimate Marvel 3 and Nitsuma going across a bunch of information, and I think we just got a bunch of info for Marvel vs. Capcom Origins, which I'm really happy about. The biggest news piece was that Marvel is not going to be getting any specific updates for Ultimate Marvel 3, that is. I'm not really surprised. I actually kind of expected that to happen, but there was this ridiculous internet rumor of a guy saying that Uncanny Ultimate Marvel 3 was going to be announced here, which was absolutely not true. And naturally, just hearing about stuff like that gets me excited, and I was a little bit anxious to see something like that. It didn't happen, but that brings me back to my original thought. I was pretty fairly sure that they are done with Marvel vs. Capcom, because working with other companies like Marvel, and I've had the opportunity to work with them in the past as well, character rights and licenses and the ability to use certain characters at certain time frames is a very challenging thing when you have a very big film company like Marvel. It's a lot different than what it used to be. If anything, there's one thing that I wanted to ask Nitsuma about this and I didn't get the chance, is that how about you guys ignore that? How about you forget Tatsunoko, forget SNK, forget Marvel, let me see a proper Capcom All-Stars game. And I don't know, didn't get the chance, but that's what I'd like. EVO so far, this year's been absolutely crazy. For myself especially, it's really a alternate reality, running into a bunch of people that are familiar with what I do in the show and being able to see people in face. But as far as the event, it's the biggest fighting game of all time. Like, it's hard to describe that and to realize it when I say it, of all time. And it's like that every year. So I cannot wait for the finals of this year. I hope I get the chance to compete, but since I'm doing a lot of projects around the area right now, kind of is the nature of my situation of working on the show or competing in games. But it's amazing. It's amazing to see so many people in one area all loving the same thing, and it's kind of what you live for sometimes. It's totally awesome. My all-time favorite EVO moment I would probably say it was, I might be from EVO 2007, forgive me if I'm wrong. It's the EVO where Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was being playing. I forget who Justin Wong was going up against, but he had all of his characters down. And in a game like Marvel 2, it's not like Marvel 3. You don't have X Factor, any comeback mechanics. He was down completely and was dead. And there was nothing he can do except having Cyclops left alone, and he came back and he won the entire game. And that's where the interpretation of never give up came from, where the EVO moment where you don't give up no matter what. There's nothing that you can't do in a situation if you don't try really hard. And he proved that, and it's freaking amazing. Look up that clip if you haven't seen it. Look up EVO moment, never give up. As far as this year at EVO, I think I'm looking forward personally the most to the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 finals. Besides from that, I'm actually really excited to see how the Soul Calibur finals go as well. If anything, right next to that would be Ultimate or Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. And because last year was so ridiculously hype, it was insane. But Ultimate Marvel 3 is in a very curious position right now with Infinites and the game being changed very rapidly over the past couple of months. So, especially with the Japanese competition, I think that'll be really interesting if we get some Japanese players and like international players, not just Americans, in the finals of Marvels. That would be really hype, and I hope that's what happens, to be honest.